Well, this is interesting. Also, I want to say to those of you who are complaining about Stefanski being our head coach, how about you shut up for a minute? Don't mean to be rude, but seriously, he can't be worse than Morris, right? What was he supposed to do? Like, the offensive coordinator's terrible. Shador and Dylan Gabriel are rookies. Like, people expect so much in Cleveland, but come on. It's the Cleveland Browns. Getting 2 coaches a year by that team is pretty darn impressive if you ask me. I hope this is a good hire. I heard that he did get Bill Callahan to be coaching the offensive line for us, so hopefully that goes well. I can't believe I'm hearing Bill Callahan's name in the year 2026. That's nuts. The good news is, he's keeping over just the defensive coordinators, so what is there to complain about? I've also realized that whatever the media says, like whoever the media is drilling over, is probably not going to be a good player. I still hope Shador plays well without Stefanski. And he better not bring Tommy Rees as his OC, because we would really be in trouble. Enough about Kevin Stefanski, let's move on to this episode. Welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be discussing the National Championship game reactions, and also we're going to be ranking starting running backs for the NFL season. If you are enjoying the series so far, make sure you give this a bit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. Helps the channel a lot. This is the Grizz as always, and without further delay, let's get straight to it. And of course, in the National Championship game last night, Indiana Hoosiers finished a perfect 16-0 with a win over the Hurricanes 27-21. Kurt Cinetti has finally done it. Couldn't take James Madison all the way for obvious reasons, but he did a great thing for James Madison, the program, and then went to Indiana, changed that program almost immediately. And then in his second year, he wins the Natty. There might be a new Thanos of college football. Nick Saban was the first. I think Cincinnati might be the next. I'll say Carson Beck wasn't terrible until the game-losing interception. He did throw for 232 yards and a touchdown. But shout out to Mark Fletcher because 112 yards and 2 touchdowns, that guy was absolutely balling against the Indiana defense. He showed some effort. I did hear that he did punch an Indiana player, so that was I lost a little bit of respect for him. But he did have a great game. So yeah, no, punching someone is very unforgivable. How about Malachi Toney with 10 catches for 122 and a score? Pretty nice performance. As for Indiana's offense, I mean, they got challenged by Miami's defense. It's just, it wasn't enough. For Miami having a great defense, Indiana actually played very well. I mean, the run game had a combined like 130 yards. Passing game wasn't too bad, 186 on 16-27, and an unbelievable run by Fernando Mendoza for the last touchdown of the game. Well, at least for Indiana until Miami scored again. But man, also Charlie Becker, 4 catches, 65 yards, made a couple of huge catches for him. He was an absolute huge piece in Indiana's offense. I swear, without him, they're probably like, I don't know, 14-2, maybe 13-2, I don't know. To say he was an impactful player is a massive understatement. That guy took over the game. Probably one of the more clutch wide receivers in the country this season. Jabari Sharp with a ceiling interception for the game, and Indiana also had a blocked punt for a touchdown. You could blame a lot of things on Miami, the defense for not being able to stop Miami, or for stop Indiana, Carson Beck for throwing the game away with the interception, but I think the biggest one is the special teams. Carter Davis missed another field goal. That's 3 points off the board, and then a blocked punt for a touchdown. That took 7 off the board, so Miami could have won if they had better special teams. But what ifs are for another time, because Indiana wins their first national championship in program history. Congratulations, Hoosiers, and hopefully you guys have a better future next season. Probably Miami, though. I know I hate you, Cristobal, but your team actually had a really good run. You really did go all in, and unfortunately it just didn't work out for you. Now, your next quarterback will probably be Darian Mensah. Damn it, how many quarterbacks you gotta get? Can't you just admit you can't win a national championship no more? I mean, unlike James Franklin, you can win the big games. It's just, the games you're supposed to win, that's a different story. Louisville, SMU. Oh yeah, and Georgia Tech last year. Like, you guys had a great run, but Cristobal, you need to start winning the games you're supposed to win. But congrats to Indiana, congrats to Chris Cincinnati, Fernando Mendoza, and all those guys. Those guys absolutely balled out. Now on to NFL running backs. Tier list for NFL running backs across this season. We got Demon, we got above average, we got middle of the pack, serviceable, and the dungeon of ass. Everybody good? Perfect. We're going to start things off with Aaron Jones. I'm going to put him in above average. I mean, Aaron Jones, he got hurt for a while, but when he came back, he was actually very solid. I think he's like right on the edge of above average, closer to middle of the pack, so yeah, that's why I've kind of put him in above average, because he's a good running back. He just got hurt. That's all. And next up, we got Devon Achane. Yeah, I don't think there's any arguments here. He is an absolute demon. 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, almost 6 yards per carry. Oh yeah, and I have 488 yards receiving, because why not? Guy's the best player on the Dolphins offense, and it's not even close. I put Jalen Waddle in there, but, who's his quarterback? Ewers and Tua? There should be no questions asked about Devon Achane. Next up, we got Bashal Tootin, the rookie for Virginia Tech. He was pretty serviceable. He wasn't bad. ETN gets all the workload, but, Bashal Tootin wasn't even that bad either. Did have 7 touchdowns and just under 4 yards a carry. He wasn't the worst running back in the world. I think he just needs to get a little bit better, and then he'll be at least a great compliment to Travis Etienne on that Jags offense. Next up, we got Bijan Mustard. I think we all know where that's gonna go. Yeah, there's no questions asked. Led the NFL in all-purpose yards with just under 2,300, had 11 touchdowns, was completely the best offensive weapon for the Falcons. Sure, he has bad games there and then, but that's literally because the team's game plan to stop him. And he still just produces on another level. Almost single-handedly had me make the playoffs. That's how amazing he was. Yeah, I had the number 1 pick, so what? Don't deny his greatness. Up next, we got Braylon Allen. I'm making a category for him, there's maybe a couple of other ones too, but yeah, Braylon Allen, injury reserve. When he got some carries, he wasn't horrible, He may have fumbled once in like 5 or 6 games, but his yardage per carry wasn't the worst. Oh no, he played 4 regular season games. Not a good sample size, so I'm not going to put him in ass, not going to put him in serviceable, not middle pack, just, if he would have gotten healthy, maybe he would have been another productive running back. Next up, we got Breece Hall. Especially as I want to put him in demon, I gotta be real. I'll put him in high tier of above average. Even with all the bullshit that happened at the quarterback and wide receiver position, the only thing constant was Breece Hall being a very good running back. Just over 1,000 yards rushing, had 5 total touchdowns, As much as he can score, he was able to produce. He had 7 100-plus rushing yard performances, or 100 all-purpose yard performances. But, so yeah, he was very productive for the Jets. The only problem was, they're the Jets. Next up, we got Brian Robinson. I can't exactly put him middle of the pack. I can put him in serviceable. He just didn't get enough carries, really. With McCaffrey being a very valuable target on the rushing and receiving game, Brian Robinson has kind of been a little bit of an average shot on the 49ers. Don't get me wrong, he has a lot of talent, but, when you're going against McCaffrey for the running back spot, yeah, good luck. But he was a pretty important piece in that 49ers puzzle with all the injuries that have been happening. Next up, we got Bucky Irving. Did play 10 games, and he was a good producer. I'll put him in, no, not demon. I'm going to put him in above average. Was a beast when he was healthy, just unfortunate that he missed a couple games. Very important ones indeed to help them win the division. But, his impact on that Bucs offense can't go unnoticed. There's a reason why they made the playoffs last year. It wasn't just because of Baker. It was because of the great running ability for Bucky. It sucks that he did get injured in October, so, yeah. I hope you have a better year next year, Bucky, even though you're on Tampa Bay. Oh, next we got, Cam Scatterboo. I would put him in demon just for fun, but for this case, I'm going to put him in a special category. Yep, you already know what it is. CTE GOAT. Guy was exciting to watch for the first half of the season, and then unfortunately he broke his leg, so he missed the second half of the season. Not much really to say except the guy's a monster. I'm glad I picked him up in waivers this year, and I hope he comes back and does even better. Only reason why he had some stats either because he was injured or because he didn't get much reps to begin with. Come on, you seriously think that Cam Scatterboo is not as good as Singletary? Come on, man. He's the ground and pound GOAT. Okay, maybe All-Star has a case for that, but still. Up next, we got Chase Brown. Had a slow start, but started to improve a lot, you know? I'll put him in above average. I'm fine with that. Like I said, he didn't start off that great. One of the worst rushing offenses in the NFL were the Bengals, but then he kicked it up a notch once it came to the Steelers game. Then he got 100 yards all-purpose for 6 straight games. And then he added 2 more because why not? Just over 1,000 rushing yards. He did have 11 touchdowns, so yeah, he was an impressive runner. 2 years in a row, brother? Next up, we got Chuba Hubbard. I'll never forget the season you had last year. You know what? You'll be our first middle-of-the-pack running back of the video. Got replaced by Rico Dowdle, and then people just forgot about him. But he was pretty impactful, especially in that final game against the Rams in the playoffs. He was actually a pretty decent running back until Rico Dowdle decided to turn into God mode for a few games. He really just didn't get much of an opportunity, but when he did, he actually produced, which was really good. Now we got DeAndre Swift. Yeah, I'll admit it. I mean, people thought he was terrible, but yeah, he turned into a really good runner. Almost 5 yards a carry, just over 1,000 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns. A part of a Bears offense that was actually very stacked. Had some really impressive outings. If you don't put him in above average or middle of the pack, you just quite literally don't know ball. Swift has so much talent. I mean, first couple years, it was pretty ass, but you know what? He came back this year and said, you know what? I'm a cook. And boy, you did. Yeah, we're already 12 running backs in and still no ass yet. That's pretty surprising. That's going to continue on because we got David Montgomery next. I'm going to say Monty is a high tier of the middle of the pack. I can't really put him in above average yet, but he has been a really good power back for Detroit. Compliment to Jahmyr Gibbs, but he was a very good compliment to him. Almost 1,000 all-purpose yards. He scored 8 times. Like, you can't get better than a second running back like that. Well, unless, of course, you're Tyler Algier. Can we just stop sleeping on Monty? I picked him up in the draft, in the fantasy football draft, and he was actually a pretty good running back for me. A little inconsistent, but still pretty much above average stats. Next up, we got King Henry. Okay, I'm going to make this short and quick. Yep. No questions asked. 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns. The dude was basically the offense. Had a rough start. We all wrote him off like he's washed now, but then he turned it around and, man, he was absolutely dominant, just like he was last year. Guy's always been a dog, like, ever since, like, I don't know, 2017 or 2018. He hasn't lost a step. Next up is actually Dylan Sampson. He did have a couple good games, so yeah, I can't put him in ass. I had to put him in serviceable. Another running back that's not ass. Like, dude, what in the world? Didn't get much playing time, literally because of Jerome Ford and Quinshon Judkins. But when he did step on the field, he was okay. I can't judge him fairly since it was his rookie year and he was buried in the depth chart, so there you go. Next up, we got Austin Eckler. I'm going to make this quick. He goes on injured reserve. He literally only played 2 games. And he is in the midst of a career end. So, yeah. Thank you for everything you've done for the game, Eckler. Then we got Travis Etienne. I'm not going to put him in Demon just yet. I think he still has a lot to prove. But he is an above average running back. He's been this whole time. It's just last year he had a little bit of a down year. This year, much better. 1,400 yards all-purpose, 13 touchdowns, 4.3 yards a carry. Like, the guy can produce. 6 games with 100 all-purpose yards or better. Like, this guy is pretty much the RB1 of this team. Had a dominant performance against the Jets with 3 touchdowns and 100 total yards. So, yeah, this guy is above average. I can't believe everybody slept on him when he had a down year last year. Next up, we got Jahmyr Gibbs. Victory lap on this one. He was absolutely a demon. No questions asked. Nearly 2,000 yards all-purpose. He had 18 touchdowns, second most out of any running back. There's one running back that's a lot better, that has more. But he was the running back 1 for a good reason. Monty's a good running back too, but if you want a shifting guy, the guy who could get you yards and the guy who could get you down the field, just call Jahmyr Gibbs. Guy dominated pretty much the entire year, even though the defense took a step back and the passing game definitely didn't go too well. Next up, we got Isaac Guerrero. I'm not going to lie, I have not heard of him one time this season yet. He really disappeared. He played in 1 preseason game, and then because he was the 3rd string running back, he didn't get a single stat for his season. Yeah, it's a kick returner, but not a true running back. Next up, we got Isaiah Pacheco. Ass. I was wondering when I was going to put someone here. They relied on the throw so much that, yeah, when Mahomes got hurt, the offense was lifeless. 1 or 2 decent running backs, it's not good enough. Do better, Andy, or get out. As in, retire. Next up, we got James Conner. I'm not going to put him in because of him. I'm putting him for the entire Cardinals running room. Ass. That whole running back core for the Cardinals should be ashamed of themselves. Barely broke 1,000 yards, one of the worst rushing offenses in the NFL. It is sad. The most rushing yards for a Cardinals running back was 333. That's how bad that was. Moving on. Next up, we got James Cook. Cook cooked up something nice in there. That is a ranking of demons. Yards in the NFL was 1,600, had almost 2,000 all-purpose yards and 14 touchdowns, 5.2 yards to carry. The rushing game, alongside Josh Allen, relied on James Cook. Guy was a daggum cheat code in the AFC East. Gotta give you your flowers, brother. Next up, we got Javonte Williams for Dallas. Definitely high tier above average on that one. That guy killed it this year. 1,200 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns. The guy was an absolute dog for Dallas's offense. Complemented Dak's passing game very well. Didn't completely dominate on the constant basis, but he was very, very productive. Now we got one of his teammates in Jaden Blue. I'll put him in serviceable. He didn't play enough snaps to really paint a good picture, but he was kind of productive when he was on the field. Only played like 5 games as a rookie, so you can't really fairly judge him on that. Next up, we got Jaylen Warren. He was pretty good. He wasn't bad. I'll put him in middle of the pack. He had just shy of 1,000 yards rushing. He had 8 touchdowns, so he was pretty productive for the Steelers offense, even though he doesn't get used too often because of Aaron Rodgers' slinging ability. And the fact that he came to the game well as a receiving back. But when he was on the field, he was actually very productive, 4.5 yards to carry. Next up, we got Ashton Jeanty. Once he gets a good offensive line, he is going to go off. But right now, I'm going to put him in middle of the pack as rookie. Highly touted rookie running back, was a dominant Boise State player, then came into the league and was actually very solid. For not having an offensive line for a whole season, he wasn't terrible. And also because of the Chip Kelly shenanigans, his progress was a little hindered, but he's actually a very solid running back, and with the right coaching, he should be good to go. Also, I think this layout's a little better now. Next up, we got Joe Mixon, and yeah, where the fuck was he all season? He's probably on the brink of retirement, and he didn't tell a damn soul. Such a shame, man. It didn't help that the passing game was complete dog shit. Not really dog shit, but more like it was on the big decline. Next up, we got Jordan Mason. I'll be real, man. 4.8 yards to carry, he was pretty good. I'm going to put him in the high middle of the pack. 4.8 yards to carry, 750 yards, 6 touchdowns. He was not bad at all. Took over for an injured Aaron Jones, and he actually produced quite pleasantly. It wasn't perfect, but, he had some good games there and then. Next up, we got Josh Jacobs. Yep, I'm putting him in above average. He's a really good running back, though. He was probably the best player on that team when he was on the field. Almost 1,000 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns, 1,200 yards all-purpose. I couldn't quite put him in demon level because he was not on the level of the 5 guys that are on there right now. About to be 6. Because the next person on the list is Jonathan Taylor. Yep, I think you know where that's going. Absolute dog, brother. 1,500 rushing yards, 20 touchdowns, almost 2,000 yards all-purpose. The guy was pretty much the best running back until teams started game planning against him. And even then, he was still the best player on that Colts offense at all times. They just needed to make way for all the other guys to be able to, pitch in and make an effort. Next up, we got Quinshon Judkins. He was actually a very solid running back, so I'll be fine with him being in the middle of the pack. Very good offensive weapon for Cleveland. I'll give them that. He had 800 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns, nearly 1,000 all-purpose, so he was actually a very solid back. When they needed a run game, he was there to deliver. Very nice. I hope he has a great future with Cleveland. Well, maybe some other team, because futures of Cleveland doesn't really ring a bell. Next up, we got Kenneth Walker. Guy is an absolute monster. He still is a good running back. I'm putting him in above average. I'm not going to put him up there just yet. Just over 1,000 rushing yards. Did get 5 touchdowns later because Matt McDonald literally does not hand the ball to him when he's trying to get a touchdown. Absolutely dominated that playoff game against San Francisco. Just showing that You can't underestimate Kenneth Walker because he's a beast. Him having to share the backfield with Charbonnet until, well, I just heard that Charbonnet injured himself and he's out for the rest of the playoffs. He had more great games more often than not, even with sharing the backfield with Charbonnet. Well done, brother. Next up, we got Caleb Johnson. Ass. This guy makes the Cardinals running back room actually look decent. Yeah, 2.5 yards to carry, 78 total yards. Yeah, you had no chance, buddy. The hype of him was so high, and then of course it came crashing down once he started his first game. He was an impressive running back in Iowa, but boy did he suck this season. Next up we got Alvin Kamara. I'm going to put him in middle of the pack, maybe right around the middle of the pack. For him to produce a pretty good couple of games at the age 30 is actually kind of insane. He had 630 yards, or actually 650 yards all purpose, and he only scored one time. That was not because he was bad. It's just, at 30 years old, you don't expect running backs to produce that much anymore, but Kamara is still got it. Next up, we got Kareem Hunt. I'm going to make this quick. I'm putting him in serviceable and moving on. Get a better running back room, Kansas City. Next up is Kyren Williams. We should all know by now, this guy has absolutely balled out ever since he went to the Rams. This is now the third year in a row that Kyren Williams has absolutely produced to an absolute height that nobody could have expected. 1,500 all-purpose yards, 13 touchdowns was a huge part of that offense. Like, he was the rushing game when they needed him to. I mean, Blake Corum's good too, but Kyren was the man. Man, the running backs were stat this year. I mean, it was the same case last year, but this year, it was pretty much even better. Speaking of demons, here comes CMC, Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Over 2,000 all-purpose yards. He had 17 total touchdowns. I mean, he was the offense for San Francisco when Brock Purdy and George Kittle went down with injuries. And maybe a couple of other offensive players that I didn't know about either. But still, he was the main target for that offense. There shouldn't even be a debate. Next up is Najee Harris. I'm putting injury reserve. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Martin Hampton. Should I put him in injury reserve as well? Yeah, sure. Why not? He didn't play enough games. If he wasn't so hurt, I would have probably put him in the middle of the pack since he was actually not that bad. I mean, 4.4 yards to carry, 500 yards, 700 total yards, and 5 touchdowns. That's not bad for your rookie year, brother. I'm actually just going to pick a couple more. Patriots running backs, we got Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. For Stevenson, I'm putting him in middle of the pack. He wasn't bad. And for Travion, I'm putting him at above average. Ramondre nearly had 1,000 all-purpose yards and 9 touchdowns. And for Travion, he actually almost had the same stat line. It's just a little better. Stevenson had a little bit of a fumble problem as well. But Travion, only lost 1 fumble. He had 10 touchdowns. 1,100 all-purpose yards. I mean, he was pretty good. Yeah, a couple of these running backs were buried. Rico Dowdle for Carolina, I would say he was above average. I mean, he had that stretch of 200-plus yards a game. He was actually pretty productive throughout the season. R.J. Harvey for Denver, yeah, put him in above average as well. I don't mind doing that. Almost 900 yards total. Scrimmage yards, rather, and 12 touchdowns. He was a guy who can produce. I hope the future is bright for RJ as a UCF alum. Saquon Barkley, I'm putting him in above average as well. I mean, he was actually very productive, even if he didn't get to his incredible 2,000 yard season last year. He was still very good. Tony Pollard, I'm going to put him in high middle of the pack. I mean, he was really good. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I'll put him in above average. Yeah, why not? Still able to get 1,000 yards even though he's on the Titans and only 5 touchdowns. That's why he's in the low end above average. But he's still a solid back. I would have put Bill Crosby-Merritt in the middle of the pack, and that's exactly where I'm putting Tyrone Tracy, and I admitted it there. It's just too much. Tracy had just over 1,000 all-purpose yards, 4 touchdowns, even though he had to share carries with Devin Singletary and Cam Scatterboot, but for what it was worth, it was actually not too bad. Just a shame that the Giants still suck. Anyways, that is the running back tier list. Screenshot this if you want to, and yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it. We're in the home stretch at the NFL, Conference Championships, and Super Bowl. That'll do it for this episode of Chris and Talks Football. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give this a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is the Chris signing off for now, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace, love, keep your crazy vibes with you at all times. Take care.